So today I am going to teach you how to get your life insurance quote. A quote is an estimated monthly premium that you will pay for your life insurance. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to www.geico.com / life insurance. And it's going to bring you to Geico's homepage. And this is what it looks like. You'll know you're on the right page if it says life insurance. And the first thing you're going to want to do is type in your zip code. Mine is 23462. That's Virginia Beach, where I live. Then you're going to want to click Start Quote. This will bring you to not the correct page. It should bring you to this page. What you're going to want to do is select your coverage amount. I always suggest the applicants to anywhere from 50 to 100,000, but it really is personal preference. The national average for final expenses is about $17,000. So this includes your burial expenses, your funeral expenses, and typically any left behind bills. But anything higher than that will keep anyone comfortable that is dependent on your income and can help pay mortgage payments, any other loans you might have outstanding after your death. So really the coverage amount depends on your needs. After you select your amount, you're going to choose your state that you live in, your birthday, your sex, and then they're going to ask you if you use tobacco, nicotine, or marijuana. If you do, please select the answer that most likely applies to you. And then they want your height and weight. Go ahead and click Next once you've answered those questions. Then they have a couple questions for you that aren't medical questions, but they're more lifestyle questions. So they want to know if you're receiving disability, if you're receiving any form of government assistance, such as food stamps, WIC, or Medicaid. Medicaid is medical insurance for low-income families. And then they also want to know if you've filed for bankruptcy, if you're a U.S. citizen, and what your type of hobbies are. So what this question is asking is if you are a pilot, if you scuba dive, if you race cars, if you rock climb, if you do anything that could be perceived as a potentially hazardous activity, select yes. Then they want to know what your driving record is. So have you been convicted of reckless driving in the past 5 years, or have you gotten a DUI in the last 5 years? They also want to know if you've received 3 or more moving violations in the past 5 years, and then if your license has been suspended. If you have any of those, select yes, and then they're just going to want you to explain. And then they also want to know if you've had any infractions with the law or been on parole or probation. Once you're done answering all those questions, select Next. And then here's where we get to the medical information. The first question they ask is if you've ever been rated up or declined by an insurance company. So this means if you've applied for life insurance before and you've been declined, or if you've applied and you were quoted a certain rate, and then once it came back, they actually requested that you pay a higher amount based on any health or hobby questions that you answered. Then they want to know if your biological parents or siblings before they turn 60 have had any type of heart problems or cancer and stroke. If they have, you're going to want to select who had what. Then they're going to ask if your doctor has ever recommended a medical procedure that you did not get taken care of. So prior to today, if your doctor has recommended that you have open heart surgery or that you get a hip replacement and you have not gotten that taken care of yet, you're going to want to select yes. Then they're going to ask if up until right this minute, any medical conditions you have that you're currently taking prescription drugs. That's the key here, prescription drugs. You're going to need to select yes and tell them the answers to all of these questions. So I'm not currently on any prescription medication, so I selected no, and then we're going to view quotes. So what it gives us here, the first 5 options are term life insurance, and then it goes to lifetime. I always suggest that you select lifetime insurance because this is going to cover you from now until you're 120 years old. It also builds cash value, which is super important. So you might be paying a little bit more a month, but in the long run, it's going to be more beneficial than a 5 or 10-year plan that caps out at 10 years. So you're only covered from today until 10 years from now, which isn't really a good policy in my personal opinion. I would rather be covered my entire life. So I feel free to click through each of these and look at what fits best for you. And I hope you learned something today.